When did the bike happen?
I was sitting and looking down on Suriname, seeing all the bikes passing by. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy a bike and then I'll learn how to ride it.
How do you stay authentic at the same time respect the locals? Because I think that's a factor that you do really, really good.
How to say this without sounding like a jerk?
Please.
I just came back from, Pulau Miangas, the most northern
Oh yeah,
island.
near Philippines, right? Yeah.
Only 50 kilometers from the
Yeah,
Philippines. In that airport where there's like 4 or 5 staff, 3 of the staff in that airport, they know who I am. They're like, Christian, welcome. We've been waiting. And I'm like, what?
What's a place that calls you really often to come back?
Mentawai, Kerinci Mountain, and then there's...
Would you call Indonesia your home?
Welcome to the Friday Podcast, a melting pot of all ideas and stories. Whether it's the resilience behind a punchline, the humanity behind a policy, or the spark that fuels a masterpiece. In our studio, we pull back the curtain and explore the other side of every story. Because here at the Friday Podcast, we talk, you listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday Podcast. This is your host, E.S. Lawrence. Some people travel to escape, others to find something, and somewhere along the way, you meet someone that travels to connect. And he is Christian Hansen. Man, I honestly don't know where to start.
It's okay.
Karena I feel like every time I see you on my homepage, it's always a different place, a different story, but the same cheerful guy. So let's talk about that guy for a minute. Where did that cheerful, helpful, bright guy come from? Who was he before all these YouTube?
I think if you ask my family, they would say that cheerful guy was always there from the very beginning,
Really?
Yeah, I've always been a happy kid. I've also been, when I was young, I was a naughty kid. I was always the class clown.
Yeah.
Trying to make everyone laugh, except for the teacher. But it has brought it out even more in me during my travels here in Indonesia. But who was I before? Well, I was one who loved to travel. I've always loved to travel. I've been to more than 50 different countries. Wow. I left Denmark, my home, when I was 20. I've lived abroad now for 12 years.
Cool.
I've lived in Cyprus. I've lived in Turkey, 2 different islands in Spain. I've lived in Africa. I've lived in Atlanta, Georgia, U.S., and I was about to move to Colombia, actually, Bogota.
Really?
Yeah, very, very close. Just 1 week before I was, backtrack a bit, I used to be in logistics, import-export of pharmaceuticals.
Wait a minute. Import-export in Colombia. That doesn't sound...
Of pharmaceuticals, of all things.
That doesn't sound right there. I'd do that. Yeah. Making extra money.
Pfizer, those kind of companies.
Okay. Glad you mentioned that.
Not those kind of
Okay.
farmers. Anyway, I used to do that out of our regional offices in Atlanta. I specialized in sending these temperature-controlled pharmaceuticals from US to Europe, Asia, all around the world. And I got an offer to come and work in our offices in Bogota. And 1 week before I was about to fly to Colombia, I get a call from our office in Jakarta. I was like, Jakarta, where is that? Is it in the Philippines or is it Vietnam? And they say they really want me to come to Indonesia, and they need help with their pharmaceutical department here. And I was like, sorry, I already signed with Colombia. And they told me, you know what, just come out for a week. If you like the place, stay. If you don't, then just consider it vacation. And I really needed vacation.
What were they sending you here as a supervisor then?
It was as a business development manager, which is a fancy title for sales, really.
Oh, got it. Okay, carry on.
Came here, and I still remember the first day. I stayed at the 101 in Dharma Wangsa. Do you know?
Yeah, the blue logo 101.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get out of the cab, it's early in the morning. I open the door, and it is just, I'm hit by this wall of humidity, like so hot, so humid. I see palm trees, traffic, smog. I'm like, what is this, like jungle, or is it a city, or what is
Yeah.
it? Long story short, they of course know how to wine and dine me. So for a week, we go out to bars, restaurants. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm like, oh, I'm staying. Cancel the contract with Colombia. Come here, December 2020, was it? Or 2019, December 2019. Start the new year. I'm ready to go to the office. They send me to Singapore to do a quick visa run. I come back and they say, oh, now you have to work from your apartment because there's this virus going around. And COVID started.
Wow.
Yeah, so first week, and then I had to work from my new apartment.
That's how it all started.
That's how it all started, yeah.
So what's the story of leaving the comfortable apartment to getting on a bike?
Oh yeah, that's
even
next
longer.
chapter of
Yeah,
that.
next chapter, please.
All right. Well, then I was forced to WFH for 8 months. Yeah, and it's always been my dream to become this businessman, wearing the suit, driving a Mercedes. Because
That's all checked though. Been there, done that, or no?
yeah, so I checked that with that position more or less because I suddenly had a super, I had a really nice salary, I had the bonus, commission, fancy office in the International Finance Center in Sudirman.
Phew.
And yeah, I felt like, okay, now I had all of that checked. It was what I had dreamed for so long. And once I finally had that,
What's now? Yeah.
it wasn't really what it lived up to be. Now I just wanted the freedom because suddenly I realized with all these benefits, it just comes more office time, really.
What? I'm assuming you were unhappy.
I don't know if I was unhappy, but like I just told my assistant Sharon the other day, is I tend to get comfortable with a thing, and then I'm like, okay, that's checked, on to the next thing.
Got it.
And that's how I felt with this office job. Okay, now I know how it is, the fancy office job, the meetings, the looking good, going out to bars at weekends. But now I wanted to try something new. So I actually ended up resigning from my job once we got back to the office.
Bold move.
Yeah. You know what? I came to a point where I was like, I don't even care how I'm going to do with finances and all this because I've saved up quite a bit of cash. I knew one day I would want to start my own project or whatever. So I had some money I could rely on.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'll resign. Then I'll figure it out. If I run out of cash, then I can always take a job again.
Yeah.
That was-
Easy to say though.
Yeah, true. It was
Yeah.
my mentality, but I also knew that I would
Yeah.
figure something
Yeah,
out.
of course. Of course.
I didn't know it would be YouTube though. Of all
So
things.
what were you saving for? Traveling. It was for traveling.
So actually, since I was 20, I started spending all of my money on investments.
Got it.
I would invest in individual stocks. I would
Yeah.
invest in index funds. I got a book from a good friend that was called The Millionaire Teacher. It sounds really inspirational, personal development, all of this. But the book was so simple. It's basically about spending less than you earn and put something aside for the future. Not just put it in under the mattress or in the wall,
No.
but put it into something that can actually make you more money.
Of course.
And I kind of took it to the extreme. So even when I lived in US, sometimes I would buy canned food from Costco.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. You can actually get a can of, I wouldn't say decent food. I would just call it food.
Yeah, bacon and beans or something like that, right?
Yes, for less than
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
I only did it for a week because I got super sick.
And now I know why you choose Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great investment. Yeah.
No, but I had invested a lot,
Yeah.
and I knew that one day, whether it would be starting a family, I wanted to buy a house, or starting my own business, I would need to have like a nest egg, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And it just happened to be
YouTube.
my beginning of YouTube, because then I could buy camera and lighting and microphones and.
What were you a fan of? I mean, were you a fan of watching people on YouTube? You know the Outdoor Boys. Were you a fan of like those camping videos, or no? Were you just out there and traveling?
Actually, it was just the love of traveling. I was so interested to learn more about this massive country that I hadn't had the chance to explore the first year I was here, because I was in the office, going to meetings.
COVID.
Obviously. So I just wanted to explore. I felt like, wow, I mean, I have this opportunity now to explore this country where they have everything, beaches and lakes and mountains and islands and different culture, different food. But I didn't know anything about YouTube. I wasn't even watching YouTube.
No.
Some of my inspiration for this whole motorcycle thing, it came from just watching one show on Apple TV called Long Way Up, Long Way Down.
Long way up. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
With
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor and
Yeah.
Charlie Bowman. And I was like, you know what? That could be kind of fun to make something like that. But I didn't know how to make video. I didn't know how to edit photos. I didn't know what batteries I would need, or what is a tripod. So I used YouTube to learn everything I could. I would just research day and night until I was able to make my first YouTube video, which was terrible, by the way, terrible.
Yeah.
But I went in with the mentality of like, I'm gonna see it as an important assignment in school. I'm gonna give it 110% or nothing at all. So I did my very best with that first video. I was really proud once it released.
Which was
Which was on, I think it was like December 2020, after I had been here for exactly 1 year. And it was about like living as an expat through the pandemic, you know?
yeah. The classic old bule YouTube in Jakarta. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it got the ball rolling.
Of course.
And it was so scary. Super scary.
I didn't think scary would be the word.
No, but maybe you remember this as well. First time you're seeing yourself on like a professional camera being uploaded, and you're thinking, like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
Why does my face look like that when
Yeah.
I say this?
I
you know?
still feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And all my friends in Denmark, I was expecting, you know, like so much support, like, wow, that's so cool. And it was just dead silent, you know.
But they saw it. They didn't.
I think they did.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I actually got so much support from my friends that I'd met here in Jakarta. They were like, you're so cool, you're so brave, keep it up. I was like, whoa, okay, this is amazing. It inspired me to do more.
Yeah.
Where I was expecting actually the support coming from my old friends in Denmark or US. And then once I reached, I don't know, 200,000-300,000 on YouTube, then I started getting messages from the old friends.
The old friends.
I believed in you from the beginning.
Where were you, dog?
Exactly. Yeah.
When did the bike happen?
The bike. So actually, it was because it was the pandemic still, right? And I wanted to travel. All the airlines had closed down, and I was like, how can I get around? And actually, we had gotten back to the office at this point, and I was sitting and looking down on Sudirman, seeing all the bikes passing by, and I was like, you know what? This is the way that we get around here in Indonesia, apparently.
Of course.
So I was like, you know what? I'll buy a bike, and then I'll learn how to ride it.
You didn't know how to ride a bike.
No. But this thought, I mean, I didn't even think about it would be scary to go out in Jakarta traffic on 2 wheels and a clutch. And I just thought, you know what? We'll figure it out. So I met with the seller on OLX. Yeah, and he was like, "You want to test ride it?" And I was like,
what was
"No."
this bike? What was this bike?
Yamaha MT25, 250cc sports bike.
You didn't want to test it out. You bought it anyway.
Actually, he insisted that I tested it. And we
course.
met around Sudirman, so I was so nervous. I was like, okay, you know what? He wants me to test it. I have to test it.
He's gonna see this.
He's gonna, and he saw it. I mean, just starting it, I was like, ugh, ugh. And actually, I ended up doing a full lap test ride only in first gear
Yeah.
because I don't know how to change to second gear.
You were going slow.
Very long story short, I buy the bike and now I'm pretty good at it.
Oh well, yeah, obviously, man, obviously. I think the craziest part about before we get to talk about traveling, I want to talk about the fame, because within a night, all eyes were on you, especially if you felt like you were the one that clicked the uploads, and then it's not that difficult to get attention here.
True.
Especially as a white man, you know what I mean? Like, and some people take that for granted and make contents, and we see today what's happening in Bali, you know, forgetting all the locals and all that. How do you stay authentic at the same time respect the locals? Because I think that's a factor that you do really, really good.
First of all, really appreciate it, mate. Thanks a lot. And you know, I heard someone say in the beginning when I was watching all of these tutorials, like, if you're not the person on camera that you are in real life,
True.
you're gonna get so burned out because you have to, I mean, unless you're a really skilled actor, right? But if you have to all the time pretend to be something you're not, it's gonna be so exhausting.
Yeah.
So I went in with the mentality of making a YouTube channel called Christian Hansen, not because I wanted to highlight myself a lot, but because I wanted people to know, like, this is just me. This is just Christian Hansen. This
This is you on and off the camera.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like maybe my team can attest to this as well, that I'm more or less the same guy on camera as I am off camera. At least that's what I tried to be from the beginning. And yeah, you know, I'm also really lucky in the sense that I don't get negative comments on my content.
Yeah, I see that.
It's maybe one out of, like, seriously 1,000 comments that's like, your shirt is ugly, or like, you have dumb hair, or you know, like really basic. So I can be like, hi, yeah, okay.
How do you react to compliments?
Actually, to be honest, I get quite a lot of compliments, and it's not, again, to try and highlight myself, but it's because people like my videos or like the things that I do. So I think maybe I've gotten used to just saying thank you.
Yeah.
But
Does that
I don't always take it in. I think
Got it.
it's become like a given for me, like, how to say this without sounding like a jerk.
please?
No, but like, even if people say, Chris, your videos are so good, then immediately I'm thinking, yeah, but they could be better.
Yeah. Got
You
it.
know, this is always
Yeah,
my
so
mentality.
that's my follow-up question. How does compliment, I mean, being complimented and then actually be better instead of just being grateful of what you have, then you get what I mean?
It's a tough balance, because it's also what is driving me to continue to make better videos, to do more. It's this, you know, I remember this documentary I used to watch a lot. It's like Bigger, Faster, Stronger. Actually about bodybuilding, but that is my mentality as well to this project, and the way that I work is I want it to be better. I want the videos to be have more meaningful, be more beautiful. So it's what drives me. But at the same time, I also sometimes really have to remind myself, okay, be grateful and look at what you have actually already done. It's already pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's a good That's a good point, right? To be your own critic. Um, Obviously, this mindset didn't start off from the first video of traveling, right? I mean, was it more of a I just want to have fun, or was there a humanity kind of side? Was there aesthetic side? Was there, you know, the reason why I'm doing this is for the video? What was the reason why you did it on the first place?
Actually, from the beginning, it was more or less the same mentality of like, okay, I gotta do the best I possibly can. But it's true what you say. It was not about like a big production and shooting in S-Log with the drone and the color grading. In the beginning, it was a lot more just like, okay, I want to go and travel. I want to show people how beautiful Indonesia is, and hopefully I'll have an amazing time doing it. It was a lot more simple, actually.
Yeah.
But it was also a hobby project.
Of course.
That ended up turning into a hobby/profession.
Yeah. How do you remind? Well, now that you've been traveling for how many? 2 years then, right? On the road.
I've been here for
5.
more than 5 years, and I've been on the road for 3.5 years.
How do you remind yourself the reason why you did this on the first day?
Oh, it's tough actually.
I
Also,
bet.
also because, you know, I've been to so many beautiful places now.
Of course.
I've lived with the Dayak tribe, with the Mentawai tribe. I've been swimming with whale sharks. I've been diving with white-tip, black-tip, thresher sharks. Done so many crazy and wild things. So I can also feel that quite often it takes like more and more to impress me now. You know?
Is that? I'm assuming that's a bad thing.
It is because
I mean, the simplicity of nasi uduk should be equal as, you know, eating worm in Mentawai.
yeah, but it's, you know, I still remember my first trip on that Yamaha MT25. I was driving to Puncak, Bogor.
Yeah.
I get lost, and I stop by the side of the road to find my way, and there's no signal using Google Maps. But I just look out to the side, and I just have rice fields, palm trees, mountains, the sun is shining, blue skies, and I'm like, whoa. I got lost, and this is what I found. And of course, I will still feel like that when I see a view like that today. But I think that's also why sometimes I need to go back to Denmark, visit my family,
Yeah.
see the Danish landscape, and be like, "Wow, it's cold, it's
Yeah.
windy.
Gotta
now
go back."
I can go back to Indonesia again."
Oh, that's a good reminder. That's a good answer. Yeah, I agree.
It's the same thing if you go on a trip. You go, let's say you go to Hawaii for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and you swim, you go to the beach, and you get different food, and then you come back to Indonesia, and you realize how amazing a trip it was, but you also realize, wow, I kind of missed home.
Kind of miss
you know?
home. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel the same. Whenever I come back to Indonesia, it kind of reignites my fire about, wow, so beautiful there. People are so kind. Yesterday morning, I was going home, and I was sitting on the back of a Gojek. There's traffic, it's hot, and I'm thinking, oh, I have so many things to do today, and it's hot, and then I pass this papa who's standing. It's like 7:30 in the morning, and he's making a new door. You can smell the wood as he's like making it smooth, and there's just sawdust everywhere. And I was just like, wow. You don't see this on the side of the street in Denmark. You know, Papa is making a door, and someone is selling gorengan on the street.
Yeah.
And it's just, and in that second, I was like, oh, I love this place.
Would you call Indonesia your home to that extent?
Definitely,
Really?
definitely, yeah. Love this place.
When did you decide that was? You could say that.
Indonesia was my home. I think I felt like that pretty early on, but it just kind of amplified the more trips I went on. Now when I go to Denmark, I feel like I'm going on vacation in Denmark, but after a couple of weeks, it's time to go home. Home to Indonesia.
Did the viewers play a role in that sense?
They do, because I always feel welcome wherever I go.
Yeah. When I watch your videos, there's always a subscriber.
Always, always, and it still amazes me to this day.
Yeah.
Like some of the places I go.
The Rawan.
Yeah, Derawan, or I mean, I just came back from Pulau Miangas,
Miangas, no?
perbatasan yang paling utara di Indonesia, the most northern
Oh yeah,
island.
near Philippines, right? Yeah.
Only 50 kilometers from the
Yeah,
Philippines. And to go there, I had to fly 2 times in small Cessna airplanes. And I land in this tiny, tiny airport. It almost looks like a house on the way to Miangas. And in that airport where there's I think there's 4 or 5 staff, 3 of the staff in that airport, and they know who I am. They're like, Christian, welcome. We've been waiting. And I'm like, what? Same thing happened in the mountains in Aceh. I was driving. I didn't see any other cars for like half an hour going through the mountain passes. Suddenly I can just hear someone yelling, Christian Hansen, as a guy's passing on his bike, And I'm like, dude, like, how do people know me in even these remote mountain areas,
Is that fuel for you?
It is fuel. It reminds me the power of making this content, and it reminds me that my videos actually have an impact, because if that guy on the bike passing me in the mountains, if he thought I was an asshole, he wouldn't have been like, Christian Hansen, right?
Yeah, true.
So I've met, I still remember this one girl I met in an Eiger store in Makassar as I was preparing to hike Gunung Latimojong. I was buying some last minute gear, and she comes in and she sees me and she locks eyes, and I can see she just starts shaking. And then she comes over to me, and then she starts crying, and I was like, what did I do?
She's like, thank you, Brad Pitt.
But she was just so excited to see me. She couldn't hold her emotions back. And she tells me how she watches my videos whenever she's sad. It makes her happy, and my heart.
Of course.
It's moments like this are so moving, and it makes such a lasting impression on me. And it gives me so much love that I feel like I can give out both to the people that are watching my videos, but also the people that I meet along the way,
Hey guys, sorry for interrupting the podcast. We have a special announcement. Kita sedang berkolaborasi dengan Avalanche, sebuah brand parfum, dan kita membuat 2 varian. Ada The Host dan juga The Interview Room. Both smells really good, dan it represents the podcast itself. If you're a fan and if you're a friend, jangan lupa langsung beli. Link in the description. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Thank you.
Here's the ironic part, though, Christian. I feel the amount of love that you receive, whether it's offline or online, it does not justify the fact that you're lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the road on your own, and no matter every few kilometers somebody shouts your name. At the end of the day, you're alone. You're in that hotel room all alone. How does that get to you?
Oh, it gets to me.
Really?
Yeah. It's the hardest. It's the hardest part about this trip. People don't see it on the screen, obviously, because I cut that out. That would be so depressing.
Just a compilation of you sitting alone, crying.
Actually, in the beginning of both in my Sumatra trip and Kalimantan trip, I made some behind the scene clips. I remember when I was sitting and editing in my hotel rooms, but I started cutting them out because I could see how lonely it looked, and it kind of reinforced my own feeling of being alone. Anyway, it is lonely, because when I go on a trip, let's say I go and I live with the Sugu Bajo in Wakatobi for 10, 12 days. I actually ended up staying there a total of 3 weeks, long time. Anyway,
When you build bridges, right?
Yeah, where build the bridges. I am with people all day, from early morning to late evening because, as you know, I film everything myself. So I'm out with the camera all day. Besides shooting, I have to learn about the culture. Sometimes learn about the local language. What is a lighter in Bahasa Bajo? Cholo.
Is it?
It is.
Cholo.
I have to remember to ask questions, make interviews.
And you got to be present, right?
I got to be present at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
In a day, there's so many people like, oh, can we get a quick photo?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Nah, the ibu-ibu and satu foto.
Kiss on the cheek.
Berdua. More. Sometimes I'm still surprised how nakal the ibus can be. You know?
Talk about harassment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so many things happening through a full day of shooting, and then compile that 12 days of traveling nonstop. So many new impressions, so many new people. Then I come back to a hotel. I close the door, put my bags down, and it is dead quiet. So quiet. The only thing I can hear is the sound of the AC. And instantly I feel like I'm Christian all alone in the world. I know I'm not because, yeah, I've just been with a lot of amazing people and I have my family back home, but a lot of these small hotels I stayed in Kalimantan and some areas of Sulawesi where I have to then stay in that small hotel room for maybe 2-3 weeks. All I do from morning to evening is sit in front of the computer, edit the video, go out, get something to eat, come back again, go to sleep. Next morning, same thing again. And I know I can just call my family, but my family is like 10,000 kilometers away. My friends, they're in Jakarta. And the next shoot is in 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It is the thing that's almost broken this project so many times.
Is that the depressing side of content creating? Or a single man content creating?
Nah,
Itu
more
ya?
that, yeah. You know, it's actually such a trending topic and hashtag and all this, solo traveling and all that.
Yeah.
And honestly, solo traveling, it's amazing. You learn so many new things, but you learn so much about yourself as well. When you don't have your best friend you can always stay with. But what I do is solo traveling to the next level because, you know, out for months sometimes, right? And I think, yeah, that is the challenging part.
Do you get bored?
Technically, I don't have time to get bored.
Yeah, I'd assume.
Because the editing process is so long. There's so many things to do. When I'm on shoot, time flies so fast. Honestly, these last couple of years, it's time just flies because I'm having a blast. But it's also, it's hard work. It's morning to evening, Monday to Sunday.
How do you manage great relationships? Whether it's with a significant other, whether it's a friend, whether it's your parents. How do you manage that at the same time of just being present and be with new people all the time?
Also very difficult. Because I don't want it to sound like it's all about downsides, but another downside with all of this travel is all these amazing people that sometimes end up feeling like family. I have to leave them again, right?
Yep, true.
And then after you've been on the road for 3.5 years, you've traveled to so many places, you've met so many people, how do you stay in contact with all these people? You don't want to lose the relationship. But at the same time, you get hundreds of messages into your Instagram DM every day. You get so many WhatsApp messages. I still have a full schedule of things to do. I got to remember to call my family, catch up with, see if I can catch up with Philip and Dimitri next week for that beer. We didn't do it last month. It's super difficult. Maybe also because I tend to prioritize work.
Which is traveling and editing.
Which is traveling and editing. It's something I'm trying to prioritize more is actually keeping my relations, because if you don't take care of your relations, they fade, right?
Yeah.
Family, we do video calls every week.
So is this your Is this you prioritizing your connection, being in Jakarta for a couple of weeks?
No,
No.
no, no. It's because I've just set up a new office.
I heard, yeah.
So we're actually changing a lot of things when it comes to the Sabang sama Merauke journey because there was too much loneliness. There's too much work.
Wow.
I had a brief stint with like proper stress. So I'm changing some things now, and one of the things I'm changing is having a team to help me, having an office, having a base, and actually for the first time in a long time, trying to make a proper relationship work as well.
How is that working out?
Well, it's surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good.
It's.
Have you been on the road since?
I have.
Oh, you have. Okay, that's great. Okay.
Because now it's also a challenge of like, sorry, I have to travel out again. You know, I will see you in a couple of weeks. Luckily, she's super understanding.
Yeah.
But it also helps with the loneliness part. You know, I
course.
have someone I can share when I'm happy with,
The
when I'm
exciting
sad.
part, yeah.
But it can also be a challenge, but it's so rewarding at the same time.
Wow, it's such a new step for you during ending this year, right? There's a bunch of new things happening for you. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this was actually planned out to be finished within a year, right? Sabang to Merauke. That was the original plan, right?
That was the original plan. Didn't go according to plan, no.
No, that didn't happen didn't according to plan. No regrets though, right? Because you've traveled amazing places.
No regrets.
No. But now, due to loneliness, you have a whole team. My question is, how do you manage to lower down your ego from editing everything by yourself? You know, you knew what was right for you. You knew how your hair might look better if you edited it out. Now giving it to somebody else, because that's a whole different challenge itself to trust how many people now? More than 5?
We are 6 people. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, including myself. So yeah.
How do you trust that 6 people when you used to do it all on your own?
Well, technically, for the last 2 years, I've actually had an assistant, Sharon, who is now our team leader, who is here today as well with us.
Yeah.
And she helped me a lot with like administrative stuff. Like suddenly I had events, meetings. I had to fly back and forth between the trip and Jakarta, and that made it so much easier. But now we want to take the production to another level. So I've gotten videographers, photographer, editor, social media manager. We have Wika, who's planning nonstop the next trip and doing research and
Wow.
And yes, it's super difficult to give up some of that responsibility because once you've done your own thing on your own for such a long time,
Of course.
you want to have a hand in all the processes, you know, like to make sure everything is done exactly the way
I wanted it. Yeah.
Exactly. But then my friend Dimitri, he said, imagine if your output can maybe be double, but maybe it's only 80% of the way that you wanted to do it. Then you're still producing more than double. It might not be exactly the way you wanted it.
Yeah.
But if you can have more time to yourself and expand, then it'll. He recommended me. He said, you know what, try it. Try it and give away some of that responsibility and see. And now that I've tried it, it's giving me so much more time to do even more work.
I imagine you travel, send some files, they edit it out, and you can continue traveling. True?
Oh,
Or
I wish.
well,
It could be like that.
That's not the way it is.
No, because
You gotta still stay in a hotel room for a week or two.
The thing is, when we go on a shoot, now we're shooting on 3 different Sony cameras. We're bringing 6 different lenses. We have a drone. We have X amount of action cameras. We have the Insta360 cameras. We have audio. All the batteries need to be charged. Microphones. So you can imagine how many files that is. Like one shoot of, let's say, maybe 4 or 5 days is maybe 2 terabyte of data. Because we're shooting in, I can see your videographer, he's going, ugh.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting in 4, 5, 6, and 8K.
8K?
Yeah. So it takes up a lot of storage, and with the signal we have, no offense, here in Indonesia, imagine sending 2 terabyte, how long that takes if you need to send it to an editor and he sends revisions back and all this. So we go out, we shoot, we bring a ton of data home, then we go to the base camp, we edit it out, and then we go on the next project. That is the
Ideal.
how the new workflow will be.
Wow. Crazy.
So there's a lot of logistics as well, right?
Yeah.
Previously, I would stay on location until I was finished with the video and then continue to the next destination. But now I think we will be going a lot back and forth between the base camp in Jakarta. Also to get this like peace of mind of like, okay, coming home, my own bed.
Yeah. Why do you prioritize the quality of the video instead of the quality of the moments?
I wouldn't say that I prioritize the quality of the video over the moments.
Or can you do both?
I think I can do both. But the thing is, what my team would also say is I am very perfectionistic in the way I want my videos to be. I would rather make them the way I want them than uploading something that I'm like, it wasn't really that good. Then I would rather not upload at all.
Got it.
Yeah. But it's a fine line. It's a balance, you know.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I'm still learning, honestly.
How many subscribers?
Right now we have 500,000 on YouTube. All in all, on all the social medias, it's more than 1 million.
Wow.
But we have not been growing so fast the last couple of years because I was doing everything on my own. So now I'm excited to see with the team how fast can we grow.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about with the team. My dream is, I said before to you, that when I was in high school, I was always asked like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I said travel from Sabang to Merauke with a car. Because I've always watched these videos on YouTube, those tiny homes and then those van life. I was like, they're so inspiring, they're so cool. And why don't we do that? Because we have so many islands and so on. And I guess somebody's doing that pretty soon.
Yeah, somebody is.
Somebody is. We can't go too much detail. But here's my question. Bringing 6 people with you, 5 people with you, right? That's a whole different challenge. I know that's going to get rid of the loneliness part, right? Hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully. But, logistic-wise, I think cost-wise, everything's going to be much more difficult. How did you think of that, and what was the conversation like?
Actually, I try not to think about the cost too much because then it's not as motivating anymore. No, obviously it has a certain cost to it. There's so many things to think about when you're bringing more people on your trips. It's not just extra hotel rooms or homestays. It's food. It's gasoline. Like let's do a coffee break. It's what if someone gets sick or. Yeah. So many things to consider. But again, I'm hoping it'll be worth it. It requires a ton of planning. It's I always love when I meet a subscriber and they're like, "Oh, it's just like you're on vacation all the time, Chris.
Yeah.
Just film, upload, and then just enjoy life." And I'm like,
you want to slap him on the face?
That's how it is. But again, I see it as a new challenge. The whole Sabang to Merauke, going in a car like you used to dream about. That sounds kind of fun. It sounds interesting. I cannot reveal too much, but I do have some changes coming to the new trip. Yeah. And, we might actually try a car at some point.
Yeah.
again, don't want to spoil too many ideas, but if you want to join at some point, we would love to have you in one of the episodes.
You have my number. You have my
I have
number.
your
I'm ready, set, go. Dude, of all these places that you've been, I seldom see you come back to them, right? Because you have so many places to travel to.
Yeah.
And with 13,000 islands, I mean, it's gonna be a while since you go back to Sumatra and so on. What's a place that calls you really often to come back?
So actually, I have 4 places now where I still really stay in touch with the people, and that's Onchi, who I met in Mentawai. I live with his family. Got the Mentawai tattoo from his father.
They were in Mentawai for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah?
Because we did a documentary. They said they came back and said, "Never, I'm doing that again."
A lot of nyamuk and a lot of noises and dirt. Anyway.
Yeah. So Mentawai is one of them.
So Mentawai, I stay in contact with Onchi, who is kind of a little brother for me now. And then there's Jet from Kerinci, a hiking guide that I met. He had lost pretty much everything during the pandemic. He even had to sell his wedding ring to have enough.
Is he much better?
He actually, he's such a good guy, but he actually ended up becoming like this super famous. He is the Kerinci Mountain hiking guide now because of the video we made. He became so famous in the area. He now has Kerinci Paradise, which is super successful business. He does these VIP luxury camping trips up the mountain, and so he's so grateful. Still reaches out. So the trips, they also make an impact, right?
Of course they do.
So yeah. Then there's Thomas that I met in the Tokian Islands. There's obviously Tina that I met when I lived with the Dayagiban at Sungai Utik in West Kalimantan. I went back to live with the Dayagiban. After I finished my Kalimantan trip, I went there again. And there's so many places that I would love to come back again. And people still text me, "Chris, when are you coming back to Bengkulu or to Krui or Banjarmasin?"
Oh, I love Krui.
Amazing.
I used to go there just to surf. So it was like 10 hours, right?
Yeah.
Go there, surf, and then come back on the weekends. Oh, that was the
Have you
time.
been to Pulau Pisang?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
take the boat all the way there. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I did the same thing with best tour guide, Bobby Banana.
Bobby Banana anime.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but I want to touch base on what you said earlier. Touching people's life and making changes. That must feel good. That must be the main fuel, no?
It is. It is. Pretty early on, when I was still making this YouTube channel from my apartment in Jakarta, and I had a couple hundred subscribers, I remember imagining, like, okay, what if one day it says like 500,000 subscribers or a million, you know? Like, what are some of the things that I want to do with my YouTube channel? And still until this day, it is... I feel like when you reach so many people through your social media, you have a certain responsibility as well.
Of course. To say the right thing, to do the right thing.
Exactly. And that is still inspiring me today. Like, with this reach, I feel like not just not because it's an obligation, because I want to as well, but to do good, use it for something good. And we were able to build the bridges in Wakatobi. We have been able to donate funds to the children's cancer hospital in Jakarta. We have went to an orphanage in Tangerang. We've done giveaways in the Tokian Islands, various projects, and there's very few things that feel as good as giving something away to other people.
Yeah.
I not to promote CAF or anything like that, but we did a small project with CAF in the Tokian Islands where we gave out some free products, and it was like deodorants. And
That's how we
shampoo
met, by the way.
Huh?
That's how we met. Through CAF.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the CAF event. Yeah,
yeah.
true.
That's one project that made this happen. Yeah. That's it.
Then, because I wasn't sure, can I mention CAF or?
No, you can, of course. Of course you
Okay.
can. Yeah.
All right. Well, then in that case, amazing. Anyway, we gave some products away. I think we ended up sending how many thousand products was it? Like 3 or 4 or 1,000 products to the Tokian Islands. We gave it away in this small village, and I remember this local taking a shampoo from his bag of mixed bags of things, and he tells me like, "Do you know that this shampoo, if I were to buy it, costs like 40,000 rupiah?" I was like, "Whoa." You know, for me, sure, it's an amazing shampoo, but 40,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people. You know?
Yeah. How has this trip make you view money? From someone that invested, I mean, from an early age, I mean, eating from cans. But now I bet you value it more, seeing people need it more. You know what I mean?
It's, still one of my first YouTube videos. I do this whole, like, how much does it cost to live in Jakarta, Bule version, right? And back then I lived in an apartment complex in Kuningan where I was paying, I think it was like 20 or 22 million a month for an apartment, right?
Yeah.
And back then, I was a part of the expat package, and it was so much cheaper than in Denmark, you know?
Yeah, your weekly Chemchicks grocery run. Yeah.
Exactly. But after this trip, I realized with 22 or 20 million, you know how much you can do for 20 million if you're in Sulawesi or in Kalimantan, or I mean some of the more remote areas. I stayed on this island called Sombori in southeast Sulawesi. I stayed in a tiny resort, and when I say resort, it was because it's a resort built by the government for locals who wanted to visit Sombori but didn't have a lot to spend. So it's guarded by 4 locals who live there and take care of this quite broken wooden establishment. And I stayed there for a couple of nights. I talked with the locals who guarded it, and they told me that in 1 month, these 4 guys, they of course fish every night where they can get free fish. But for 1 month, split 4 people, they spent 1 million rupiah in expenses. And I asked them, what do you buy for like 1 million rupiah 4 people? And they say, oh, that's just for rice and minyak and oil.
Wow.
I'm like, 1 million 4 people, that's all they need. 250,000 per person. It's stories like this that remind me, first of all, how expensive a cheeseburger is in South Jakarta, but how grateful I should be for just having 1 million or 2 million in my pocket or with me on my trip. It reminds you to be grateful for what you have, and it also inspires you to give to people who need it more than you do.
Wow. That's a perfect way to end this conversation. Listen, I feel like you have showed me more of my country than I've seen with my own eyes, and I think that's the inspiration that we all received today from this conversation, and we hope you have the ability to continue to travel, to continue to go to that Merauke that you've been talking about. But I think most importantly, you have to tell the viewers here how they can support you and how you can continue this adventure. So how can we do that?
Well, with any kind of content, a thumbs up or a comment or sharing it with your best friend or your mother, your father, that helps bring my content out to more people. So, if you want to support the Sabang to Merauke trip, you're welcome to like, comment, share, and we will do the rest from there.
Christian, thank you for being here. Kalau
Thank you
gitu
so
nama
much,
saya Ias Lawrence.
My name is Christian Hansen.
And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.